Coffee Club. I'm so excited to see all your faces. There'll be more people hopping in, I'm sure. I had asked Maya if she didn't mind. She's at a coffee shop, but she's going to go ahead and open us up in prayer this morning when we get started, okay? So if you guys would bow your heads.
Well, good morning, all in area red hot leaders. Laura and I are coming to you live all the way from Gardner, Kansas. And we are so excited that you are here. So I'm going to invite you to pray with us. And this morning, as we just prepare our hearts, I know like this season can be full and abundant. And so, but today is going to be powerful. And so let's pray together. God, you are good. And we are so thankful for the area that you are building right now. We are so thankful for the leaders that you are rising up. And God, I just pray that you speak through Linda with such power, such boldness, such grace, and such grit, God, that you would just ignite a passion in our area, that we are just a light and beacon for you. So Lord, we thank you for this time. We thank you for this weekend and the gift that you've given us. You are good, and may today honor you. And in your name I pray, amen.
Awesome. Thank you, Maya. Powerful, powerful. Okay, Mary's going to bring up the slides. Mary, do you mind to go over the slides for us?
Oh, yeah, I sure can. Awesome. Well, good morning, everybody. I'm so excited that you guys are here with us today. Before we hop into some training this morning with Linda, we are going to do some recognition for the Red Jackets in our future area. And so we are going to get started with that. And we first just want to give a shout out to all of our Red Jackets. We think it's so super awesome to be able to give recognition where recognition is due to our up and coming leaders. And so we are just going to give these guys a quick little shout out. So at the Star Team Builder level, we have Lisa, Angie, Kayla, Anna Maria, Kate, Bobby Joe, and Rachel. Congratulations, you guys. Then moving on up to team leader, we have Vicky, Amy, and Laura. Woohoo! And then at the elite team leader position, that position is available. So we are so excited to watch these leaders rise up and fill that position, and on up into the position of DIQ, Director in Qualification, which we are so excited to recognize Emily Smith from the Jennifer Huff unit, our current DIQ, and in month 2 of CAR qualifications as well. So again, congratulations to you guys, all of the Red Jackets in our future area. We are so excited. All right, so now some recognition for our teams. All right, so first we're going to recognize our team production. So our top 10 in team production, and this includes their personal production and their team production. Okay, their personal team production. So number 10 is Rachel White. Number 9 is Anna Maria Klunt. Number 8 is Kayla Kirkman Gertz. Number 7 is Vicky Highsmith. Number 6 is Lisa Clark. And then our top 5, number 5, Laura Newson. Number 4, Bobby Joe Smith. Number 3, Angie Daughtry. Number 2, Amy Parnell. And number 1, of course, as our DIQ in month 2 of CAR is Emily Smith. Woohoo! All right, you guys, then we're just going to keep this rolling into commissions earned. Now, we always think that it's really important for you to follow the prize and money trail, because as you are working, lots of things come from following the prize and money trail. That's one of the things that Linda has always taught us. And so if you are not sure how to maximize your commissions, both from your personal sales and your team building, please be sure to talk to your sales director so that she can help you understand that, so you know truly how to maximize this. Because you guys, at that Red Jacket position, Star Team Builder, Team Leader, Elite Team Leader, and DIQ, there are so many opportunities for bonuses and different commission levels. And so make sure that you understand those. Again, ask your sales director if you're not sure. All right, but with commissions earned, our top 9 in commissions earned is Lisa Clark. Number 8 is Rachel White. Number 7 is Kayla Kirkman Gertz. Number 6 is Anna Maria Klunt. Number 5 is Vicky Highsmith. Number 4 is Laura Newson. Number 3 is Angie Daughtry. Number 2 is Amy Parnell. And number 1, again, as on target CAR and DIQ, is Emily Smith. Woohoo! All right, now we're going to talk about these commission percentages, you guys, because again, Mary Kay has recently changed this within the last few years. And this is just, again, such an amazing opportunity for you to be able to maximize what you're earning. And depending on how large your team is, how many people are ordering, different factors like that, that dictates your commission. And so we do want to make sure that we are looking at those numbers. All right, so the first levels of commissions that you can earn is 4%. And so congratulations to Anna Maria Klunt and Rachel White for earning at 4%. Then moving on up to 6% is Kayla Kirkman-Gertz and Lisa Clark. Then at 8% is Angie Daughtry. And then at 9% is Vicki Highsmith, Laura Newson, Amy Parnell, and Emily Smith. And then you also can earn at the 13% commission level as well. So let's just kind of talk about that here super quick. So again, at the Star Team Builder level, you can earn between 4 and 8% commission based on your personal team production. All right. So depending on how much that is, determines your 4, 6, or 8%. Once you are a team leader or an elite team leader, then your commission is based on how many consultants are ordering on your team, plus your order as well. So again, you can earn 9 or 13% commission with that. So again, if you're looking at your team and you want to know how to be able to help your team, plus help you as well, make sure that you are talking to your sales director. All right, and then just a quick little reminder before we get into the give it back to Heidi is our next Red Hot Coffee Club is going to be on Saturday, May 21st. It's always the third Saturday of the month. And I think Jennifer has Autumn Hebel-Britton is going to be our guest speaker for that. So we are so super excited for that. She's the daughter of National Sales Director Emeriti Diana Hebel. And so we are excited to be able to hear from her as well. So Heidi, back to you then.
Awesome. Thank you, Mary. I just get so excited, you guys, seeing all of your names and all of your commission checks. And oh my gosh, it just blesses our heart. When we started this over, a year ago, gosh, I was thinking that we had 1 or 2 reds on this call and how it's just grown. 1, okay. I thought, and small beginnings, don't worry about small beginnings because God blesses those who are faithful. And we have been faithful. You all have been faithful and God is blessing us. And that's why we're here today and all these beautiful faces on. And guys, I am super excited to introduce to you. Some of you may not have met her in person. Some of you may not even really realize where your roots, your upbringing, your grit, like Maya said, and the grace that we have learned this business came from Linda Tupin, our National Sales Director Emeritus. And I am so excited. Some of you have never had the opportunity since her retirement. And so I get to introduce her to you. And a lot of you guys are going to understand when she speaks that where your heritage comes from. It's so, so important and so strong. And so, bear with me now as I get to go over her accolades. And Linda, you can add anything to this that I may miss. Okay, so Linda has 2 children, Neil, who now is a doctor at UK, and he is married to Hannah, and they're and has 2 grandchildren. And Katie is her daughter, who is also a songwriter, okay? And she is also a $1 million sales director now. And Katie, we want to welcome Katie's Reds, who are going to be hopping on and be watching. We're so excited to have them join us today. Linda joined her Mary Kay business back in 1982 while teaching in public school system as the home economics instructor for grades 6 through 12 in a small rural school. She debuted as a Mary Kay sales director in 1983 and left her teaching position in 1986 when Neil was born. Okay, and she was a full-time director, work-from-home mom. She quickly moved her unit to Cadillac status. Okay, so Linda has had over 50 offspring sales directors. Woo! Yay! And has over 5,000 consultants that have been entrusted into her leadership. She has driven the Mary Kay cars for free for 33 years, and and now she actually has earned her national retirement gift car. It's a Cadillac, and I don't know the exact name of it, but it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. And then let's see here. You got to hear this, you guys. Okay. So she and her personal unit of over 500 consultants had retailed over $24 million in the last 20 years. Okay, Linda's national area ranked number 7 in the Diamond National Seminar with over 10 million in sales each year. Her highest commission check for 1 month has been over $57,000. You guys, Linda has earned over 7 million, and that may have been more since I've read this, in commissions in her career. Linda's career has bought her a house full of gifts, prizes, including 30 carats and diamonds, and 20 world-class 5-star trips to exotic places around the world. Linda has received many honors throughout her career. Some of her highest include being selected as Miss Go Give for the Diamond Seminar. Sorry about that. In 1997. Okay. And also, this is really cool. She's being selected to train in Europe at the International Summit of National Sales Directors from around the world in 2004. She was being selected to represent the U.S. at Kakasan. I'm not going to say that exactly right. Seminar in 2008, as well as China and Australia in 2009. She trained all the European NSDs in Poland and 2011 and hosted in Spain seminar in September 2011 and led her national area to the prestigious Inner Circle 2 times. The last question that Linda asked Mary Kay Ash before her passing was, how can I ever thank you for helping me with the gifts find the gifts that were inside of me? And Mary Kay's response was, pass it on. Let me introduce to you our National Sales Director Emeritus, Linda Toupin. We're so excited. Thank you, Linda.
Oh my gosh, Heidi, thank you guys. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Maya, and brand new sales director, Sherry. Are you all just so excited about Sherry? And Sherry, we're so proud of you. You know, it's like, I don't know how to explain my position to you, but it's like being a grandparent and watching your children have children. And Sherry's the new baby on the block. So welcome, Sherry. Well, there are so many things I want to say to all of you today, but I want to tell you how you got here. Okay, because I don't know about you, but when I come to a person's home and they have their family photo album or their lineage or their ancestry.com available, that's what I'm very interested in. And so, because a lot of how you got here is part of this Zoom here today. First of all, you have to know that in 1983, when I became a consultant, and actually it was on April 22nd. So what is today? April 16th. So it's almost been 40 years ago. So I want you to think about that. 40 years ago, a decision was made that changed everyone's life on this call, all of your customers' lives, all of your team members' lives. So you have the power with one decision of team building to change generations of people that haven't been born. Most of you were not born on this call in 1982, but yet your life was changed by a decision that was 1982. I want you to think about that for a second. I love to read, and what I love to read most is historical fiction. And I'm especially fond of authors who have they tell two stories, a story that happened in the 16, 17, 1800s and a story that's happening today. And what you learn through the book is how they connect. And that's really what's happening right now in front of you. So in 1982, when I was teaching in the public school system, none of my friends thought this was cool. They couldn't understand why a school teacher was going to, go sell Mary Kay, and they didn't even show up for their appointments. But my kids at school thought I was cool and thought what I was doing was cool. And they didn't have any money, but they had desire. And that's the first lesson you're going to learn from me today. Is you've got to find people who have desire. And usually they don't have very much money, but they have a good, strong work ethic. So your market, the ideal Mary Kay market, is middle America. Yes, you're going to have customers that can afford a $500 roll-up bag, but most of your market is going to be people who work really hard for their skincare set. And so that was my market. That's where I started. And so the first person that changed your life was a senior in my class by the name of Melinda Blackford. And Melinda was a senior. She wanted the skincare because all the girls in my class were talking about our skincare set, but she couldn't afford it. So she had a party and she earned her product for free. And that's really who you're looking for out there. You're looking for people who want to look good. They want a top brand product and they want it, but they can't afford it. Okay. So it is not bad when a customer says, oh my gosh, I love Mary Kate, but I can't afford it. That's actually what you're really going after, is that sentence right there, you guys, because that's when you step in and go, don't worry about money. I've got a plan for you to get it for free. So I want you, I want you to become very comfortable with very simple sentences today. Don't worry about that. I've got it handled. In other words, you've already got it figured out for her. So before you ever begin a conversation with someone about skincare, you've already figured out how she can get it for free. You've got to know how much she needs to sell with 2 bookings in order to get it for free. That's a magic number. So you take each of our skincare sets, you run your numbers to say, this is all you have to do. And we'll equip you with books. We'll make sure that you can do an online party if you want to. We can do a catalog party. We can do a loaded lookbook party. In other words, you've already got all her problems solved for her. So I had her problem solved for her. I knew how to get the product for free. And Melinda Blackford had a party. At her party was Joyce Butoff. Joyce Butoff ran the deli department at the grocery store in the town next door to mine. And so Joyce had a party. At Joyce's party, I met Terry Brody. Terry Brody lived in another town. Now, all of these towns are about 15 or 20 minutes apart. So Terry had a party. Now, Joyce became a consultant. Melinda was too young to become a consultant. Joyce eventually became a consultant, and Terry eventually became a consultant. And Terry introduced us to Sherry McCutcheon, and Sherry eventually became a consultant. Now, all of these people becoming consultants didn't happen immediately. It happened over a long period of time. But what you need to understand, and this is what's happening to you right now, it's a layering process, and recruiting is something that you do that's long-term. It doesn't always have immediate results, but it has long-term benefits. And so over a period, I want to say, without looking at my numbers, of about 4 to 6 years, this process of recruiting began to take hold. And each of these people became red jackets. Each of these people I'm talking about became team leaders. All they were doing was watching what I was doing. Okay, so you're the mentor. So whatever you're showing your people is what you're going to get. So that's why the only person you need to worry about is yourself. You want to be the very best version of yourself that you possibly can be. All right. And so all they saw me do was come in and present the product, present a set sheet, and talk about how they could get the product for free. They all watched me get 2 bookings at those parties, and they all watched me introduce the opportunity. No one jumped up and down at the party and said, hey, I want to join. That's not how it looked. And it was a process over time of them trusting me, liking the product. But it's really more about trust. People have to trust that this is not a fly-by-night thing. That's some crazy idea that you got. It's that you have longevity and that you believe in what you're doing. Sherry recruited, and Kathy, you'll have to correct me if I get this wrong, because right here I get real confused, because Sherry also recruited a whole nother line of people and directors. But Sherry recruited Carlina, I believe, or it was Deanna that recruited Carlina. Carlina recruited Kathy Caldwell, who is on this call today. Thank you, Kathy. Is that the story, Kathy?
Yeah, Sherry recruited her best friend from high school, Carlana Miller.
Aha. All right. So Carlina then is how, and then Carlina, you knew Carlina from school?
She, her husband was in graduate school with my husband at University of Virginia.
Well, and tell you how long ago this has all been. You've got a son getting ready to, or a daughter getting ready to go to college, right?
Daughter in college, son in high school. Yes.
All right. And then Kathy, from there, pick up the story.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, it's funny because Carlana had to ask, I mean, she asked me, we talk about the recruiting layering sheet, and I think we did go through 4 steps, and that is the average is that you need to ask people like 4 times. Like I wasn't a class hostess, but I invited a friend that I worked with, and then she invited me to a guest event that Linda Tupin was at, actually, at the Omni in Charlottesville. And then she interviewed me, and then she just asked one more time. It sounds like you're trying to talk yourself into it. And so I did sign up, and I am very thankful that I did, because I wouldn't have known all of you. But started my business in Baltimore, took it to St. Joseph, Missouri, and met Mary through Alpha Gamma Delta, through our sorority. I was an advisor, she was an advisor. Actually, she was head of the alumni group there for a while, and then she'd had Jason. I came over, gave her, I will never forget that pedicure. Nothing like bribing a new mom with like rubbing her feet. So I gave her a pedicure, interviewed her, forgot to go pick up my daughter from Mom's Day Out, had to race and go get her. And by the time I came back with Abby, Mary said, I will sign up. So yeah.
Oh my gosh. And and here's Jason getting ready to go to college. Oh my God,
Yep.
we are creating ourselves children. Well, Mary, you pick up the story from there.
Well, so yes, I am so thankful that Kathy came and rubbed my feet that day. It was extremely awesome. And it was one of those things that like we had been talking about this and sharing about it and all of those things for quite a little length of time as well. And I do remember that she gave me like the Choices CD to listen to. And so I would listen to it driving to and from work, which was only 5 minutes. So it took me a little while to listen to it. But from there, so when Kathy shared with me, my son Jason was 3 months old when I signed my beauty consultant agreement. And like Linda said, he graduates in less than a month on May 22nd. And so it is so crazy to think that thought. And so I was, honestly, I think I had worked my business for about 7 years before I recruited and built some team members. I had been a Red Jacket during that time, but before I really got serious about my business, it was about 7 years that I had been in Mary Kay. And at that time, I was working full-time at our local university. And there was a gal by the name of Amy Parnell that you guys saw her still being recognized as a Red Jacket that had just moved into one of the offices that was down the hall from me. And so her and I have the funny story, like Kathy and I have the pedicure story, is that Amy jokes that I was joking about her weight because I asked her to be on we called it a pound plunge. It was a little contest that the hospital and radio station here in our town did, where you had teams that were competing to see who could lose the most weight over a period of time. And so Amy and I were on the same team. So we started to walk with each other over lunch every day. And that built into, her trying the product, being a hostess. And Amy did decide to join our team. She was actually part of us earning our very first car and becoming a unit as well. And so from Amy, there has actually been a huge amount of consultants into our unit. And like I said, Amy is still a Red Jacket today. Even though she is not actively building her business, she still, she still loves the product. She still uses it herself, takes care of a few people. But because of what she did then, there still is the impact with people building their businesses. And she is still also honestly reaping the benefits of work that she did, about, 12, some odd years ago. And so Amy is the one that introduced us to Maya. And so that is how Maya
can pick up that story.
Yes.
There.
This is so fun. This is so cool. Okay, so y'all, Amy and I went to church together, but when I knew Amy, I was in elementary school. And when I got engaged to Jordan, my mom surprised me with a bridal makeover in January of 2012 when I came home for college. And so my mom took me to Amy's house, and I remember looking through her notebook of all the looks that she had done. So I was literally flipping pages of actual pictures of looks that she had done for other customers. And I picked the Princess Kate Middleton wedding look. And I sat down And she was like doing my face, and she looked at me, you know, I'm 19. I'm 19 years old. And Amy's like, Maya, have you ever thought about doing something like this? And I was like, Amy, I think Mary Kay is for old people. I'm so sorry. So sorry. We all know that's just not true, right? Like, and so, however, she planted a seed in my heart that day. And then 7 months later, Jordan and I are like living on love. And we realized real quick that you need a little bit of money, you know, to make things happen. And so started my business in July 2nd of 2012. So it also was like a 6-month process. And that was not my first time with Mary Kay. But then my first year as a director, Linda invited me to be the speaker for Red Jackets at her director debut. I was 7-8 months pregnant with Cade. I was huge. I can't believe I even traveled out to French Lake because my face was full and I was like waddling around. But anyway, I was teaching Red Jackets, and Heidi was in that class as a Red Jacket. And she will tell you what happened next.
All right, Heidi.
And the story continues. I was in the back seat of this Red Jacket class as I saw Maya up there leading, and very pregnant, very excited, passionate. She was a pastor's wife, you guys, and that connected with my heart. And I just loved her integrity, her intensity, and she was a Cadillac sales director. And so I was so intimidated that I did not go up and introduce myself. She had a long line of people wanting to talk with her. But long story short, like a year later, her and Mary Pyatt came to a guest event in Owensboro, and they drove up, and that's the Shine Bright event that in my area is very familiar with. And they were the guest speakers. And I went up and I got my picture with Maya and talked with Mary and Maya and just connected with them. And so I ends up that I kind of went out of Mary Kay for a little over a year, and I came back in, and I knew when I resigned my beauty agreement that it would be with Maya. And she had spoke at our church camp. So that was really cool. And when after she had her second baby, 5 weeks old, she made the trip from Kansas to, Southern Indiana and spoke to our church camp with our kids. And it was just awesome. And we really bonded during that time. And our family just became connected. And so that's how I got into the whole family here.
All right, well, okay, but it doesn't stop there because
No.
Sherry, and then we'll
No.
might jump back to you with Jennifer. But okay, so then where did Sherry come from?
So I work at Heart to Heart Hospice Group, and I had a lady that I'm a coworker with hosted a party, and she got a booking from her party. Okay, this is all virtual back when we were in COVID. Okay, and that booking, Sherry was part of Tracy's party, and Tracy has never signed, which she was going to sign before Sherry has never yet signed, but Sherry signed. And Sherry and I work for the same company. She's in a different city, so I never met her before she signed her beauty agreement. It was all virtual. And that's how I met Sherry. She loved the product, yes. And she was such a great customer. And so, Sherry, I'll let you take it from there? Why you said yes?
Well, I said no a few times. I was like, I'm too busy. I have too much to do. My kid plays every sport. I work a full-time job. And so I had all those reasons that I didn't want to do it. And, Heidi started telling me the benefits of doing it for personal use. So that's kind of how I started in my mind. And then we just kind of, I enjoyed it. I loved what I was doing. I loved being around the women, the energy. And so the party started increasing, and I loved making all these new friends and really caring about people and seeing my self-growth. And actually one of the reds on here today is my red, and that is Angie Daughtry. So yeah, so the lineage continues.
Well, Maya, hop back up because
Yes.
you have another line of people
do.
developing here.
Okay. And this is cool too, y'all, because Jen was one of my very first facials in 2012, you guys, in our dorm rooms. Like, it was nothing fancy. It was nothing like diamonds and pink Cadillacs. Like, this was before all of that. And I think Jen probably had 10 because I just kept asking her to come. And Jen was so loyal and such a good support and such a good customer. And that was 10 years ago. Jen was actually a part of our Mary Kay family when we earned our first pink Cadillac in 2013, you guys. And over the years, as we both got married and continue to have more children, in the thick of COVID, when we were earning our third pink Cadillac, I wanted to invite customers to come to Mary Kay Ash's birthday party. And we had this beautiful event in honor of her. And 3 days before, I asked Jen if she would consider restarting, giving Mary Kay a try. Things were different. We were in the pandemic. It was, to me, another way to work. And 3 days before that Mary Kay birthday party, she said, no, I don't think I'm going to, but I'll come to the Mary Kay birthday party to get some free stuff. And she came to the birthday party and signed that night after hearing more about Mary Kay Ash's story. And so Jen and I even played basketball together. So the relationships that Linda is talking about, building trust and camaraderie, like, it really matters. But that's how Jen started, and she built her entire unit in a pandemic. So it's exciting, and I'm tickled that you guys are getting to go back to Dallas. Like, pinch me, like, to get to take you guys. It's exciting. So Jen, there you go.
Jen?
Oh, yep, I'm here.
Well,
Oh, sorry, just a second. My
this is what it's like. You're in your closet with your product and your child interrupts you. This is how it works.
sorry, I'm back. Like, literally, my kids have not come in all morning, and just as I unmute my microphone, they do. But yeah, so I said yes after Mary Kay Ash's birthday party, which, by the way, for our area, like, we're doing that again next month, by the way, on one of our Watch It Wednesdays. But yeah, I said yes because I needed something that was flexible to stay home with my kiddos. And I wanted to help women feel confident and beautiful, just like my Mary Kay consultant, which wasn't my first one. I had one when in my hometown growing up, had done for me and my family. And so that's, yeah, our unit has grown completely. I mean, here's all of our people in our unit that has grown over the last almost 2 years now, and really excited for my up and coming DIQ who just had to hop off. She lost signal driving to a birthday party. But anyways, that's where we are today.
All right. Well, you guys, you could teach Mary Kay lessons for years on what you just saw, how it lives out, and all the lessons that you have from there. Because what you do matters. What you say matters. Who you are matters. And, you know, I posted something on Facebook yesterday that said, the soul must be a really valuable thing, because not only is the devil after it, but God is after it. And this girl came in and she said, that sentence makes me feel so valued. And I think that one of the things that we give women is a sense of value, and help them to see that they're valuable and that they can make a difference in this world, not just for themselves. And so kudos to all of you. Well, I want to just share some things with you that are more of a big picture of Mary Kay, because I wanted to show you the history. I want to show you the future. I want to show you the things that you can't see in the story as to the longevity and the stability and the continued success of our national area. So those are the things I want to share. But before I do, I'm going to tell you a story. When I grew up, I was I was living in the heaviest welfare county here in Southeast Kentucky. It's just about an hour south of me. It's still an incredibly unhealthy place. Okay. Mentally, emotionally, physically, every which way, because that's what welfare does to people. And so I grew up there, and we had a big farm, but we didn't have a lot of money. And so I appreciated everything. I made my own clothes, we didn't never take a vacation, none of those kind of things. And so when I came into Mary Kay and my director offered me a pen, I would work myself silly to get a pen. In fact, I have a picture of Lucinda holding up a toilet bowl brush, because she said to me as a consultant once, this chick will work for a toilet bowl brush. And it was meant in good humor, because I never questioned like what they were giving away, because I was just going to work to win it, because it made me feel valued, and it also helped fill a need. Well, when my children were about 16, 17, 18, right in there, I was making $250,000 a year in Mary Kay. And so they never lived my life. And I didn't really like their attitude, to be quite frank with you. I thought they were not very humble, and I didn't think they showed much appreciation for the life that they had been given, because they had never had to do without. And Katie did an incredible job with her career conference speech this year. She was the #1 director representing the #1 unit in giving glory back to the consultants, but also explaining that her life, that she and her brother Neil, who is a pediatric neurologist, has, is a direct result of what Mary Kay did. And so anyway, I decided that summer that people don't know what they don't know, and they had never experienced poverty or anything. So I shipped them both to Haiti for the summer. In fact, they went 2 summers to Haiti to work the mission fields where people live in the dump. And they came back different people. They came back, I mean, Katie, I don't think spent money for a year, because she just could not spend money. Now, somehow she's cured herself of that, but I mean, it needed to happen. Now, the reason I tell you that story is all of you on here have been born into a very wealthy family, an incredibly wealthy family. You will never do without. As I watch this program begin, and I speak on lots of Zooms, not only in the United States, but across the world, this is as good, if not better, than every one of them. Professionally promoted, beautiful pic collages created for you, a beautiful PowerPoint, a program that began precisely on time, beautifully executed. All of that you can't take for granted. That may be all you've ever known, but that ain't really what happens to the average consultant joining Mary Kay Cosmetics, guys. You have been born to a wealthy family. So I don't want to ship all of you off to Haiti, but I want you to appreciate the leadership in Mary Kay on this call right here, and every one of the directors and the leaders that each of you are becoming. You are not normal. There is nothing normal about anything you're watching here today, from the Mary Kay birthday party, to the way you all handle COVID, to the way this PowerPoint was conducted. Nothing about this is normal nor average. It is excellent. And so don't take any of that for granted, which leads me to the next point that I want to make to you, is that in order to build strength, stability, and to be paid for the rest of your life on your work today, then you have to constantly be looking at raising your own bar. I posted another meme this week that said something about children. I don't remember exactly what it said, but it basically said that, people criticize children today for not being as motivated, not being on task, not being as accomplished as in previous generations. And it goes on to say, yes, they will, if you expect them to. Children always rise to the bar that has been set. And I've heard it said of Mary Kay consultants. I've heard it said of Mary Kay leaders. It's just not as strong. The people aren't as good. The people aren't as productive. It takes all these things. The only thing that changed was the bar got lowered. Guys, so you have to keep the bar very high for yourself. When you yourself are constantly growing, constantly trying to be the very best person you can be, the best consultant that you can be, you're constantly in a state of growth, then what will you attract to you? You attract who you are. So if you're highly motivated, highly disciplined, and this is a lot about discipline, highly disciplined, then you're going to, by the nature of the universe, attract highly motivated, highly disciplined people, and which is what you want. I could care less what they've done for a living, or how polished they are, or what their level of education. None of that matters. None of that matters. What matters is discipline, because with discipline and desire, anything is possible. So I want to talk in generalities now for just a second about just the concept of recruiting, because recruiting is how you multiply. Yes, when you sell product, you have immediate income. And it is beautiful to have a Mary Kay business. I don't know how people live without a Mary Kay business. I would hate to live an existence where it's like, I've got to wait for 3 more paychecks before I can buy this item. I've never lived like that. Okay. Well, I won't say I've never, because I think when I was a teacher, I probably lived like that, but I waited tables at night and I did all kinds of other stuff, you guys. And so, recruiting is not immediate money. It is not immediate anything. It may not even be immediate satisfaction, but it is long-term growth. So the first thing you have to understand is that every human out there knows 150 people that you don't know. That's the average number of invitations that go out to church weddings in America. So what I want you to wrap your brain around this morning is that every human you know, every person in your church, every person in your customer base, every person in your community knows 150 people you don't know. And what you need is help. You will never sell to all the people that they know. There is no way humanly possible. People who have these 2,000 and 3,000 people customer base, I actually think that's a huge disservice. There are people who have that many customers, but guys, those people know 150 more people. What they could be reaching is 250,000 to 500,000 people, but they have reduced their influence down to 2,000 to 3,000 people. So the power of recruiting is multiplication. So when you're sitting at a table with 4 guests, there's not 4 guests at the table, there's 600 people at the table. So your language changes, your vision changes, the way you think at that party changes, and the way you present yourself and the opportunity changes. Is I need help. Okay. Every woman in America wants what you sell. Not one woman in America woke up this morning and think, I need more red spots on my face. I need more dry skin. I need oilier skin. I want to look worn out and exhausted at the end of the day. No one talks like that, nor they want that. They all want what we sell. And so what you need is help. So if 4 women are at the table, I need all 4 of those women to join my team to help me sell to the 150 people that they know. So if that's your objective, when you walk in the door, then everything begins to change, the way that they interact with you. Because see, leaders create vision. Leaders show people what is possible, and then they help them get there. So you are a leader. That's what a red jacket is. It is the first step into leadership. So you have to see what they can't see. Now, sometimes the person sitting at the table that knows 150 people you don't know is not the right person, but she will lead you to the right person. Okay. She may be just that person that it's just like my daughter-in-law is that person. She tried Mary Kay. It's not for my daughter-in-law. That's just not her personality. She's just happy with someone telling her exactly what to do. She's not a self-starter like that. I could give you a list of 1 million great qualities of my daughter-in-law. I hit the gold mine with my daughter-in-law, but Mary Kay is not for her, not at this stage of her life. That's for sure. Okay. But my daughter-in-law can take me to someone who it's right for. So just understand that. So I want you to take that concept, then I want you to develop a strategy with that concept, because you want to spread your business out. It will spread out organically on its own, but it's a faster journey if you're on purpose with it. Okay. So one of the things, and many of you have seen me do this many times, is to literally draw a circle on a piece of paper and put your town in the center of it. Now, I know with virtual, you can go anywhere in the United States, and I'm all about virtual. I think it's one of the best things that's ever happened to Mary Kay. It opened up a door that should have been opened up a long time ago. It showed us the capability that we have to sell. However, here's the data that's missing on virtual that we don't dare gamble on. The data is what is the longevity of those relationships that were met virtually? We don't know that data. I don't know if I met a girl from Instagram, she has an online party for me, she lives 15 states over. I don't know the data, and neither do you. Okay, but here's what the data I do know is that when I retired with a 450 person unit, 225 of them had been with me over 10 years. 129 had been with me 20 to 30 years, and 18 have been with me for over 30 years. Okay, now that was almost 3 years ago. Okay, so those numbers keep adding. So why did that happen? How did that happen? And how can you make it happen? That happened because of relationships. Relationships and trust is what causes longevity. So I want you to say that again. Relationships and trust. You've got to be in here for the long haul, because everybody's going to go through seasons of life. Every one of you on this call that have been with this company for 10 years have had ebbs and flows. You've been on fire for Mary Kay, and you've kind of it's barely a little flame in the distance. Okay. Some of you have been in, some of you have been out. There was so many great lessons here, but the bottom line is, why did you stay? Why did you come back? Every one of you said the same thing. It was about a relationship with another person. And so what we want to do while we're building virtually is there are diamonds in your backyard. There are diamonds in your backyard. So you draw a map, you put your town in the center, and you say, okay, I'm willing to drive an hour. I'm willing to drive 2 hours. You know, you guys are out in Kansas. And I know once you kind of get over in Kansas, you know, the people are scarce. But let me tell you, if I lived in Kansas, my goal would be to have a car winner in every one of those tiny little towns in Kansas that has a Dollar Tree, Dollar Store, Dollar General, because they didn't build that Dollar Tree, Dollar Store, Dollar General in a little bitty podunk town if there wasn't enough people to support that store. Okay. That is a strategy. So, you know, when I travel, I do Google pictures, which means that if I find a great restaurant, I write a review. And if you pull up Google reviews, oftentimes my reviews will come up. I was in a podunk town in Kansas. Last time I went to see you guys, I cut through because I wanted to go to Pawhuska to see Pioneer Woman and stay at her place. And so I cut through the country, and you end up in the middle of nowhere in Kansas and Oklahoma to get there on 2-lane roads, which is what I love. And my little battery in my Cadillac thing kept saying, battery is going dead, battery is going dead. And I'm freaking out because I'm in the middle of nowhere. And if my car won't start, and I didn't know at the time that there was like an actual key. There's actually a key there. I didn't know that, but I do now. Okay. But anyway, the bottom line of the story is I go to this little bitty podunk town that has like 2 stoplights, find this amazing woman in this little podunk hardware store. She not only figures out how to do it, she goes and gets me a battery at another store. She comes back. I write her an amazing review. I saw the other day it had 50-some thousand reviews where I had written a review about that woman. Now, why would I tell you that story? Because if I lived where you lived, I'd go to that town. I'd find that woman. That woman would have a party for me. See, people will respond to people who live in a geographic area that they trust, that they have a relationship with. And I would build myself a car winner in that little podunk town. Those women can't drive to Walmart or to a mall and buy makeup easily. Okay. They love relationships. So the strategy that you're developing, you guys, has got to be, whichever strategy it is, you've got to be built on relationship, and you've got to be willing to invest in people. Every single one of you here, how many trips, Kathy Caldwell, have we went on? Mary Pyatt, Maya, how many trips have we done? I mean, we've logged 1 million miles because I'm in here for the long haul, and I believe you are in here for the long haul. And I'm willing to go through whatever you go through in life because I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up on you or your dreams or who you are. And I'll go through every season of your life with you because that's who you are and who I am. And that's what creates enormous strength in your organization. All right. So let me just kind of wrap up I'm going to describe a perfect scenario. Now, we don't live in a perfect world, okay? But you've got to know what the perfect world looks like, because I think that's what's missing in Mary Kay sometimes is people go out here and they stumble around to build a Mary Kay business, but they really don't know what what they want it to look like at the end of the ball game. They have a misconception like, well, if I just get to a car, or if I just get to a unit club, or if I just get to a trip. That's only a little bitty piece of the puzzle. What you really want is the whole story. And the whole story is a group of people who stay with you for the rest of your life until you die. Okay, but I'm going to paint for you the perfect scenario that builds strength in your customers. Now, this is not to say that you are less than if you don't fit this scenario. Okay, I'm just describing the perfect scenario. I've already heard in here, some of you hadn't even tried the product when you joined Mary Kay. Some of you had never had a party when you joined Mary Kay. That is perfectly okay. But in order to ensure the greatest chance of success, the perfect world looks like this. You meet somebody and you facial them. And you facial them preferably in person. And if not, it's a one-on-one FaceTime type of situation. And you spend a good 2 hours. You get to know all about her family. You get to meet her dog, her kids, her cats. You get to know her in that 2-hour conversation, so that at the end of that 2-hour experience, you have a heart connection. And when she says, and you show her your roll-up bag, and she says, I would love it all, but I can't afford it. Then what are you going to say? You're going to say, don't worry about the money. I've got a plan. Let me show you what we're going to do. You told me about your sister-in-law that works at the hospital. You just told me about your mama who works down at the school. You're going to get a goodie bag for all them people. They're going to take up orders for you. They're going to get people. See, I've already got her. I already knew what was going to happen at the end of the appointment. So I already had it planned. As she was talking, I saw party here, a party here, a party here, a book party here. I already saw it in my mind's eye. So now, after she sees that I have a plan, I come back a second time. Why is that second appointment so important? It's to deepen the roots of that relationship. The second time to her house, I know where her teaspoons are. I know where her cups are in her cabinet. The second time of that relationship is the magic, because it really puts the roots down deep with that woman. Okay, so now all them people she told me about, I either have met them now at the second party, etc. Now remember, I'm describing the perfect storm of good. So now at the second party, because she loved the product, she's working for the product. Do you know what she sells to all her friends? The product. She sells the party, because everything I sold to her, she sells to them. Who has the influence here? It's not me any longer. It's her. Okay, that's why John C. Maxwell's book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, are so important, because one of those laws is the law of influence. You got to know who has the influence in every situation. Here, I don't have the influence. She has the influence. I've influenced her. She's in love with the product. She's in love with the process. She's in love with the process. So now all these people, 4 of them, 6 of them, it doesn't matter, have joined around the table. They all buy what she just sold, which is, I want the skincare. I can't afford it, so I'm going to book a party. Now is the perfect time to recruit, because I have built her a customer base now. So in the perfect storm of good, that girl you just brought into the company came in with about 4 to 10 skincare customers. You want to know all them people that's in this unit forever and ever and ever? It's because they came in the door with people in their life already using the product. Their mama, their sister, their cousin, their best friend was already using the product. So she already had this built-in customer base, and she wanted to do what she watched me do. Now you got to be careful, you guys, that you don't set the bar so low. It's okay to say, as Sherry did, it's okay to come in for personal use, because in my mind, you're already like at red jacket level in my mind, even though you said that, because I set you up to come to training. I set you up to come to stuff. I set you up to come to meeting. But if the bar is so low that in order to get a recruit, you simply say things like, oh, you don't have to come to those things, then you're dead. You're dead right there. You killed it, because you told her she didn't have to do anything. It's fine to say, Sherry, that's great. Lots of people begin a Mary Kay journey of personal use, putting their toe in the water, seeing if they want to maybe sell to a few family members and friends. That's what we do training. Training is on Thursday night. I'm going to teach you how to train. What you do with it's going to be up to you. I'm going to make it okay what she said, but my plan is much bigger. than what she just said. Because what you can do is you can suicidally recruit, which is Mary did a beautiful job with the PowerPoint talking about the 4 and the 8 and the 12%. Guys, you don't take a 50% woman to make 4%. That's dumb. Okay. You take a 50% woman to show her the Mary Kay opportunity, where she, over the next 20 years, will order hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of product, and that 4% begins to make sense. So just be careful of suicidal recruiting. Just make sure that that bar is high enough that you have a plan for her. Now, you're going to hear all kinds of stories. You're going to hear the story who, she joined for personal use, and 15 years later, she's a consultant that's doing amazing things. And that's all wonderful. That's not normal. That's not average. And in our world, you have to build to the middle of the bell curve. You have to do what's normal and what's average, and let the exceptions happen. The exceptions are beautiful and inspirational and wonderful, but I want to work with the normal people. Okay. I need the normal people in order to build strength and long-term stability. So to close out things, Mary, do I have control of the, it doesn't say that I can share on my screen.
It doesn't. Okay. I was gonna say I had it set up to where all participants could share. So let me.
Because the last thing that I want to do is, one of the things I would encourage all of you as young Red Jackets to do is to learn from the people that Mary Kay trained. And I'm going to show you resources that are free to you, that the women who Mary Kay trained are what you would have access to their training and their information. Aha, I see it. I see it now. I don't know what you did, but it came up and it's there. So let me get rid of all my stuff here just a second. Okay, so the first thing that you have access to is choices.pink, and it is free to you all. Sherry, I'm glad you're on here because I saw that you joined, which most people pay $6.95 a month to be part of this, and you need to cancel because you all have access to it free. So where it says join, you don't need to join, you need to log in. And when you log in here, the username is choices and the password is pink. Okay, it can't get any easier than the name of the website. So again, the website is choices.pink. And the login is the name, Choices Pink. Okay. And then when you get in here, obviously you have access to My Story, which you can share. Everything in here, guys, is shareable. All you have to do is copy a link and copy that and text it, email, put it in a group, whatever you want to do with it. That's My iStory. That's a recruiting tool. But here's where I want you to go. Now you have a directory over here where you can actually go down through here and pick topics that you want training on. But really what I'm interested in showing you all today is the audios and the videos of the people that Mary Kay trained. So when you go in here, you can literally, like any of my training here is available to you, but you will have access to Robin Rowland, Julianne Nagel. You'll have access to Leah Laughlin, Pam Tull, Tammy Craig, Pam Waldrop Shaw, Jan Thedford, Bette Vernon, Cheryl Steinman. There is a wealth of training here. And so the way this works is really simple. You can be driving down the road. You can listen to any of these. And they, again, are copy, paste, text it to somebody, etc. So make part of your decision to build a Mary Kay business to be building on the stone of the people that Mary Kay trained. Okay, I see, not to take anything away from the new leaders that have come up, but you always hold on. It's the same reason that we still study the Bible and we still study all of the disciples. Why do we do that? There's been 2,000 years since those people wrote the book, for crying out loud. Why do we go back to it? Because it's the original. Okay. And you've all played that little game before where it's like, you know, a kid whispers something and then it goes around in a circle. Do you know this game? And then by the time it gets to the 6th or 10th person, the message is totally wrong. It's totally not even the same message. So just be careful that you're always studying the principal people who literally were trained by Mary Kay herself and Mary Kay's training. The other thing that is accessible to all of you is most of you know that I have started a podcast. And that podcast, again, is free for all of you. And you can literally sign up to get every episode. This is on my laptop, obviously. And every week there is a new episode. Now, the episodes for the last 3 months have been on what does it truly take, to run a successful business from home. And so there will be about 6 to 8 of these episodes in here. Now you can also find all of this over on YouTube. Let me find YouTube. Yeah, here's YouTube. If you're a YouTube user, you can just subscribe to my channel and they're all over there. And, you know, if you're in YouTube a lot, you can, you know, actually have alerts sent and that kind of stuff. But there's also a month of episodes on your physical health and your mental health as well. So that's another free resource for you. All you have to do to be sure that you get them is just to sign up and I'll email them to you every Thursday. Okay. And then the other thing that other way you can access them is you can follow me on my professional page. And this is my podcast page now on Facebook. I have 2 with the same name, Linda Chupin. I really probably need to change them, but it looks like this. And everything on this page is pretty much about the podcast. And so what happens is every Thursday night at 7 o'clock, you can actually watch it stream live. You can actually watch it stream live and it's fun because like 155 comments came in, you know, during the whole thing. And you get to watch I interviewed Lori Hogg and most of you know her as the makeup artist that works with Mary Kay. Anyway, you get to be part of that. So that's fun for people who like that kind of interaction. So those are all different ways that you can get it. But anyway, so again, just go back and make sure that you know that these resources are available to you. And because what you want to do is combine the principles that Mary Kay has taught from the beginning, anything that you can get your hands on In Touch that came directly from Mary Kay, because every time it passes through people, the message continues to get watered down. Because, you know, I've lived it. I lived in a time where if you had 50 people in your unit, you were guaranteed a Cadillac. What changed? Nothing changed in society. What changed was decisions that were made that watered down the opportunity and allowed and opened the door and encouraged personal use consultants. Okay, I can't control the company. I had to learn to do my best with that decision. But the point being, make sure you're studying people who were trained by Mary Kay, and because that's what Mary and Maya and Heidi and Sherry have done. They have spent their entire life under the tutelage of people trained directly by Mary Kay herself. And that's what you want to do. So I just want to close by letting you guys know, I get so excited whenever, because I follow all of you on social media. I follow your groups. I love being in your groups and it encourages me. And I get so thrilled knowing that you all are truly building this amazing lifelong organization, guys, that will have the strength that you see in what I left behind. You're leaving it behind. You have the power to change generations. Little girls will be born this year, just like you were born after 82, that will be influenced, or their mama will be influenced by each of you and your ability to recruit. Thank you so very much for allowing me to talk today.
Wow, Linda. Oh my gosh. Oh, my heart is so full, you guys. I wanted to give you, the Reds, first an opportunity to just take away what's something that you can tell Linda, that maybe a new thought that you had, or a takeaway, or something that just really impressed upon you.
Well, for me, it was because I've had some parties and there hasn't been the sales, and I'm thinking, it is just, I need to meet different people. But now I know, having this whole new outlook, that they need Mary Kay, and I need to give them the plan so that they can get it. And it's just, it's amazing. I feel so much better. And Linda, I've never heard your training. I'm Rachel from Maine. So, yes. So, and I met Heidi at seminar, and I just fell in love with her.
Well, I love your
So-
accent. I love your accent. That's not just a Maine accent. Where else you from?
No, people say that, but I'm here. I'm from Maine, so yeah. But that's what they think, you know,
You talk all day.
European.
I can listen to you talk all day long. I would love to be at your party because I just want to listen to you talk.
Oh, thank you.
I love Rachel. She has the heart of Mary Kay. We were Reds together in our first seminar, and and God brought her back into my life and Mary Kay after I signed up with Maya. And just to let you know, Linda, that our previous senior sales director in Maine has retired, and there was 14 sales directors in that area. I think Maine has one sales director, which was Julie's, which we were part of the Julie's girls, Julie Garvey girls. And so Maine has an amazing opportunity, and Rachel has recruited, you guys like have 4 or 5 consultants in Maine right now with your son, Jared, your daughter, Rebecca, Dee, you, 4 or 5. So kudos. Thanks for hopping on. I'm so excited.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah. Who else? Who else has an awesome takeaway? Whatever read.
I would like to thank Linda so much for being here. Okay, I'm unmuted. I just was totally wowed. I always get really discouraged when I have a party with 3 or 4 people. I think I need more, but I loved the eye-opening news that that's really 600 people. That is going to totally change my thought process on having little parties, because I really do like to be able to relate to all of those people. And when you have a big party, you can't do that. You can't focus on all those people. So that's totally been a game changer for me today. And thank you. Thank you. I love you, Linda.
And that's Lisa from Indianapolis.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should have
That's
introduced
okay.
myself.
That's okay. What other read?
Hi, I'm Laura. Okay, so one of the biggest things that stood out to me is setting the bar high, because I know that the bar is set high for me, and you want, we want to bring in people with a desire, with a spark. And we, of course, want to set the bar high for them, because we don't want them just to sneak by or be like lost in the mix of everything. We want to set the bar high for them, and just like I know that the bar is set high for me because the bar is set high for her, you know. And so that really stood out to me, because I think I have caught myself like, it's okay if you just want to be a personal shopper. It's okay. And then I let it just, because it's like, okay, it's the bare minimum. I got them. But I need to have that plan set. And so that stood out for me as well. And then I am a relationship builder person. And so I know that that's one of my gifts, and I just need to grow in that and let it shine more, I think. So thank you so much, Linda.
Good for you. Good for you.
I'm Angela from Washington, Indiana, a new red, and I'm not on video because you would laugh. I'm recovering from 2 surgeries, and maybe facing another one. So I have been discouraged just a little bit, but I did have help and had a party this week in Evansville, and it was a little over 600, and I built some relationships there, and that's exciting. And to I'm just Laura, the same thing that came to my mind as I was trying to write neat. I had hand surgery. So my notes are pretty I'm not sure I'm going to be able to read them when I go back. But that thing about building relationships, setting the bar high. And it caused me to, and when you said that I need to be the best of me, the version of me, that meant so much. It spoke to my heart, Linda. And I have all your old CDs from when back in the 80s, when I started listening to the Opportunity of Mary Kay. You've been a blessing through the years, not just about your career, but about your spiritual growth and your personal growth. Hearing that just brought tears to my eyes. And you're such a blessing, Linda, to so many. And I thank you. Thank you.
All right. Who else? Who else? A red opportunity. I'm going to give all the reds an opportunity here. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, guys, that was just so full. And of course, sales directors, you guys, I want you guys to be able to unmute and give your whatever your takeaway was for today.
Well, I will say, I mean, it is always one of those things that, I mean, anytime that you get to train Linda, we always love to hear from it. And even after, you know, even being privileged to hear your training in the past, it still is relevant as far as just that reminder, as far as relationships and the trust and just that mindset shift, you know, of what our purpose is when we go into appointments, you know, especially at this position when you are red jackets and sales directors, that we are looking at a party in a completely different light. And so just that reminder is always very much appreciated, just to keep us focused on the right track with that. So thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome, my friend.
Linda, you know, I just think you have such a beautiful mind. I know that's a weird thing to say, but I love the way that you think and how even in your retirement, how you're utilizing every gift God's given you and doing your common sense choices and, you know, going on. And I was thinking about this morning, I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, that's what we want to be, you guys. We want to build these amazing, you know, be an amazing person and continue that, you know, that legacy. And I love that you're doing that. And I know you would do that, Mary Kay, if they would allow you. But so you're doing it in another avenue, and just such a beautiful mind. And I can appreciate so much of all of my training that I've gathered from you from the years. And so thank you for being on today. It was such a blessing for me to be able to give you to my people and my people's peoples and my people's peoples, right?
Well, thank you guys. You're so wonderful. Thank you.
I just wanted to say one more thing. So Sherry Mason and I sat next to each other as Reds at you and Cindy Williams training, and it was so inspired. And just to see now, she's sitting here in blue and I'm in red, and I almost was, okay. Okay, that was unexpected. Okay. But anyway, just the encouragement that Sherry shared, because we do, our paths are so different, and you know, the seasons that we're in. You know, I have young children, I have one with special needs that takes up a lot of time, but they are also right next to me enjoying life. Anyway, I really enjoy our community, because Maya, we became friends first, and through church, and so she saw even the hardship of everything, but because of the hardships brought Mary Kay, and then now I have a new joy, and then I fall back, but my standards are set high, my bar is set high, and I come back, and then Jennifer sent me a card. I get love notes from Heidi and Mary, and then Sherry and I just being right next to each other, like as accountability. But I see the vision, and it's not like she's higher than me. We are on the same level, and I feel like that. I mean, you talk to anybody, they don't talk to you like you're underneath them, because they want to build you up.
And I love that. But I don't know why that just popped up in my head about us sitting next to each other in your trainings. And I saw you in person for the first time, and Cindy Williams, and your guys' relationship is beautiful. And I think of Maya and I doing that one day, like, because we would have that very similar relationship. And so it was just inspiring. And so I just had to share that. And the tears truly was unexpected. So I'm sorry.
Linda, it's kind of like a beautiful full circle moment as we're here and you're watching us build our area. And I texted the directors and I said, this is a bit emotional, because this is something that has been on our hearts, on my heart, a dream that was placed on my heart. And I didn't even realize it, when I saw Heidi Gelzer debut as a pastor's wife, right? And you don't realize your story, how it connects and how it inspires and how it builds. And so from the very beginning is don't worry about small beginnings. Please, God bless his faithfulness. And I feel like your message today was more powerful in the sense of stop giving up on your dreams because it's taking longer than what you hoped it would be, and when you develop powerful relationships, people will be there and stay with you and grow with you. And as we're building, I don't want to just build fast. I want to build real and authentic and joyful. And I know you're in our groups, but I hope today this showed you what is happening here in our area. And these women are so fierce and loyal, and they are strong, and they are ready for something. And our area is going to debut, and it is going to be an area that really does pass on Mary Kay Ash's legacy and your legacy and Mary's. And I think I'm having a moment of deja vu. Is this what you call this? Heidi's right. A year ago, Jen was our red jacket. A year ago. Are you serious? I'm just overwhelmed at God's faithfulness. Yeah. So thank you.
Well, Linda, I want to thank you so much for spending the morning with us. We were talking about going to fall retreat and listening to you there. And that was really the first time I had ever been in a room where you were doing some teaching, answering questions, that kind of thing. But it already felt like I knew you because since day one, Heidi would say, well, this is Tupin training. This is what we do. This is how we learn, and and so I felt like the first time I met you, I was like, well, I already know her, it was like long time friends, and I loved how you did how it started and what an impact you can make over 40 years, that you have no idea who is going to come in your path and whose life you can change. And I think going through that in real time, each person, that really made it more like it really is happening, really does happen. That, going from you to your students and then just keep going down the line, and it makes you think, oh my gosh, is someone in my grandchild's life going to be on my team, in 20 years or whatever, it really makes you think a new thought. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that new thought. There was something else I was going to say and I lost it.
Well, while
you talked about longevity happening because of relationships and trust. And I feel like you were talking about building teams over amount of time and how long you don't see immediate results, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And I have shared with my team before that I had one team member until I had been a consultant for 9 months. And it was because people had to trust me first. Mm-hmm. I had to trust myself, that I was going to be committed and that I was going to stay in. But I had shared with people over a long amount of time, but then the results came later. Mm-hmm. Yes. So that's so true. But thank you so much. I appreciate you so much.
Well, thank all of you. What a blessing you all have been today. I can't wait to get the recording, Miss Mary, and thank you for recording that for us.
All right. Thank you guys for hopping on. And don't forget, the next one is May 21st, right, Mary? May 21st, I believe. Yep. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you, Linda. Have a great Easter, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Yeah, happy Easter.
Happy Easter.